In retrospect, I think what you meant by this comment was that we're going to need a new chapter describing our current circumstances, but I'm going to take this opportunity to jump into chapter 22, which is titled The Unreported Resistance. Surveying a series of news events in the first week of January 1983, David Nyhan of the Boston Globe wrote, "There's something brewing in the land that bodes ill for those in Washington who ignore it. People have moved from the frightened state to the angry stage and are acting out their frustrations in ways that will test the fabric of civil order." He gave some examples. In Little Washington, Pennsylvania, in early 1983, when a 50-year-old computer science teacher who led a teacher's strike was sent to jail, 2,000 people demonstrated outside the jailhouse in his support, and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette called it the largest crowd in Washington County since the 1794 Whiskey Rebellion. When unemployed or bankrupt homeowners in the Pittsburgh area could no longer make mortgage payments and foreclosure sales were scheduled, 60 pickets jammed the courthouse to protest the auction, and Allegheny Sheriff Eugene Kuhn halted the proceedings. The foreclosure of a 320-acre wheat farm in Springfield, Colorado was interrupted by 200 angry farmers who had to be dispersed by tear gas and mace. When Reagan arrived in Pittsburgh in April 1983 to make a speech, 3,000 people, many of them unemployed steelworkers, demonstrated against him, standing in the rain outside his hotel. Demonstrations by the unemployed were taking place in Detroit, Flint, Chicago, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Washington, over 20 cities in all. Just around that time, Miami blacks rioted against police brutality. They were reacting against their general deprivation as well. The unemployment rate among young African Americans had risen above 50%, and the Reagan administration's only response to poverty was to build more jails. Understanding that blacks would not vote for him, Reagan tried unsuccessfully to get Congress to eliminate a crucial section of the Voting Rights Act. Fucking Christ. I can't get this out. I have to finish this sentence. Understanding that blacks would not vote for him, Reagan tried unsuccessfully to get Congress to eliminate a crucial section of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which had been very effective in safeguarding the rights of blacks to vote in southern states. Reagan's policies clearly joined the two issues of disarmament and social welfare. It was guns versus children, and this was expressed dramatically by the head of the Children's Defense Fund, Marion Wright Edelman, in a commencement speech at the Milton Academy in Massachusetts in the summer of 1983. "You are graduating into a nation and world teetering on the brink of moral and economic bankruptcy. Since 1980, our president and Congress have been turning our national plowshares into swords and been bringing good news to the rich at the expense of the poor. Children are the major victims. Our misguided national and world choices are literally killing children daily. Yet governments throughout the world, led by our own, spend over $600 billion a year on arms, while an estimated 1 billion of our world's people live in poverty, and 600 million are under or unemployed. Where is the human commitment and political will to find the relative pittance of money needed to protect children?" She urged her listeners, pick a piece of the problem that you can help solve while trying to see how your piece fits into the broader social change puzzle.